Hello, grade 8 students. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the natural barriers in the human body. We're going to determine the science of inflammation and to study the process of phagocytosis. To start with, what are the natural barriers inside the human body? We have first the skin. Second, we have the eyes. Also, we have special natural barriers that are found inside the ears. For the eyes, they are the tears. So in the ears, we have special natural barriers, which is represented by the waxing inside the ears. So you have to stop using this because it's harmful to our ears. Mouth, inside the mouth we have special natural barriers. Also inside the stomach, which is covered by mucus, also we have a special natural barrier. So sweating is classified as a natural barriers, get rid of microbes and bacteria. So what do we have to do? What happens if the natural barrier inside the body is destroyed? The natural barriers inside the body, they form what's known by the first line of defense. So what would happen if these natural barriers were broken? If the first line of defense is broken, which is the natural barrier, then we have infection. Infection is the invasion and multiplication of pathogens inside the human body. Pathogens, they are microorganisms, they are non-self one that infects the body and they are capable of causing a disease. Inflammatory response, these are inflammation. So inflammation is the immune response against infection. It's the second line of defense in our body. So here we have the inflammatory response. We have four signs for inflammation. The first sign is called redness, heat, edema or swelling, and finally we're gonna have pain. Redness is due to the dilation of the blood vessels and the flow of more blood to the site of infection. Second, we have heat due to the dilation of blood vessels and the fast flow of the blood cells toward the site of infection. So here we're gonna have heat and the immune response is going. So sign of infection number 3 is swelling. It's due to the flow of immune cells across the capillary walls toward the infection site. So we're gonna have swelling. Number 4, which is pain, it's due to the swelling that causes a high pressure on the nerve cells in the site of infection, leading to pain. The first cells to cross the capillary walls, they are the monocytes and the granulocytes because they have a role in phagocytosis, so they are referred to as phagocytes. Macrophage, in the site of infection, we have when the monocytes cross the capillary walls toward the infected site, immediately the monocyte is going to be a macrophage that has a role in phagocytosis. Characteristics of inflammation either is instantaneous or non-specific. Instantaneous meaning that it starts immediately. Non-specific, it doesn't depend on the identity of the pathogen. Instantaneous, it starts immediately. While non-specific, it doesn't depend on the identity. Different steps of phagocytosis. Step number 1, the phagocyte, which is monocyte or granulocyte, they're going to approach toward the pathogen. Number 2, the phagocyte will adhere to the pathogen and gets in direct contact with this pathogen. Number 3, the phagocyte will engulf, ingest, and finally digest the pathogen, which is step number 3 of phagocytosis, and this is an important process. So here we have engulfing, ingesting, and finally digesting of the pathogen. So this is a macrophage, a white blood cell engulfing a bacterium in the immune system under electron microscope. So phagocytosis, the main actor, they are the phagocytes, they are monocytes and granulocytes, horseshoe-shaped nucleus and multi-lobed nucleus. Phagocytosis, definition, it's a non-specific immune response that is an immediate response. Their main actor, they are the phagocytes, monocytes, and granulocytes. So the natural barriers, they are the tears, the nasal secretion, skin, urinary system, mucus, and the gastric juice. Here we identified the natural barriers. In this presentation, we determined the signs of inflammation, which are redness, heat, edema or swelling, and pain. And finally, we determined the 3 steps of the process of phagocytosis.